Evan Munro-Smith.
I'm Evan, and this is Matt,
Matt.
and we run Stupid Old Studios. What's Stupid Old Studios, Matt?
Well, I think it'd be easy to say what isn't Stupid Old Studios, Evan. It's not a flock of flamingos. Oh, it's very...
You're right.
That's about it. Everything else you can think of, it is.
I think it's a few things. I think it's a place.
Yes.
It definitely is a place.
Yeah.
It's where we are right now. It's a studio, a building. It's a team of creatives. I think it's me, it's Matt, it's three other people: Beck Petratus, Andy Matthews, and Alistair Trombley-Birchall. What else is it? I said a few things.
So it's people, it's places. It's probably nearly all the Trivial Pursuit categories. Geography, that's the place. Then you got
history.
Entertainment. It's entertainment. It's got a history, and it's a wild card as well. It goes all the way back to 2009. The five of us met doing a show for Sin and Channel 31 called Get Serial TV. Evan was executive producer, and for one season, Alistair and I hosted it, and then the following season, Andy and Beck hosted. So we all kind of knew each other from there, around Sin, and we just enjoyed working with each other, I guess.
Yeah, we kind of wrapped up doing things at 31 at the end of 2009, and I don't know why the five of us got together, but anyway, the five of us seemed to like each other, and so we just decided we wanted to keep doing stuff together, and we felt like we'd, I guess, outgrown the breakfast show a bit and wanted to do different things. And Andy needed a place to work on his bikes was another thing, and so with those two things, we decided to start looking for a warehouse, which is a pretty crazy idea. I don't know why we thought that was a reasonable thing to do, but we just looked at like commercialrealestate.com.au and like that sort of thing, and like, well, how much do warehouses cost to rent, and where could we get a good one? And anyway, look, we found this place. It's like the second place we looked at, I think. Yeah,
the other place was less good.
Much less good, but cheaper. So much cheaper, but much less good.
Yeah. The company side didn't start for a couple of years beyond that. Early, we were just making our own sketches and stuff like that. As Stupid Old Man, and that's kind of where the Stupid Old Studios came out of that name. That's it.
I think we, towards the start, we were pretty much working on our own.
Yeah. It's probably built into more of a collaborative thing. Now a couple of years ago we had a goal to turn it into a creative hub, like a comedy hub in Melbourne, and we've started getting people in, and people are taking up writing desks, and we've got like a bunch of super talented people around now. So there's always fun stuff going on. Like Auntie Donna have a room, Xavier Michaelides and Ben Russell and Nick Kappa and Ben Lomas just moved in, like super talented
Jack Bruce,
writers.
Jess Perkins, Dave Warnicky, Sam Peterson.
Yeah, now we're going to have to name them all, otherwise it's awkward. We left anyone. Nellie White was here for a long time. Oliver Clark spent some time here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might be able to, if you listen very carefully, I don't know how good this recorder is, but you can hear Xavier and Ben rehearsing their upcoming comedy festival show. Might not be upcoming by the time this airs, so I don't know. Their award-winning comedy festival show from the past or the future, depending on... Like to you, we're talking about the future, and to them, we're talking about the past, maybe. Or even the present. Maybe they're winning the award right now.
I don't think we saw this... We didn't really know where we were going. We were just doing sketches. We thought maybe our future would be, YouTube sketch comedy, or doing a show on TV, like a sketch show on TV or something. It was kind of our dream for a while, like the first few years.
We've achieved that dream now.
Have we?
Dream is in the bin. Well, I mean community TV. Does that count?
A little bit of ABC.
Yeah, what about a little bit of ABC, Evan?
It's not good enough.
Not good enough. Bloody hell.
No, so look, it was what, 2 or 3 years ago that we decided we'd actually start a company and do video production as a company. Because before that, I was freelancing, and we didn't have a company here. We didn't have a business that we were trying to run here, or as a group. So that was a bit of a leap. And at that time, we kind of figured that it would, it'd be a production house. It'd be, a company that's making corporate stuff, but also trying to make TV shows or that sort of thing. So I think which is kind of what we're working towards now still. But yeah, the idea of it being a comedy hub, I don't know, it kind of just came organically, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just because friends kept coming around.
Yeah, I think it was probably partially organically, but we've sort of.
Now we've decided we're hiring out desk space, but even before that, people would come over and crash here during the festival and come and rehearse stuff or throw around ideas or record podcasts just informally.
I think Dr. Brown was here when he won the Barry Award.
Yeah, and now he's on Netflix. Yeah. Have you watched that?
No. Well, I will have by the time these guys.
Yeah, right.
So yes.
And what did you think?
I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. Some of his best. And his best is brilliant.
It is. I think I really like doing Fresh Blood, which is the ABC initiative, where we made a short series for iView. And that was a fun thing. It was the first time we kind of got a bit of, I don't know, credibility or something. We, like, ABC had taken an interest, and we had some money to make a sketch series, short sketch series. And we, in this space, we built a set and we wrote this series and stuff. That was pretty fun. Yeah,
that'd be up there, I think, for sure.
Yeah. And since then, doing our show on 31 last year, Australia Get It Up Here, was a highlight because we're just travelling around and shooting stuff. It was so much fun.
I think that's definitely my highlight, was shooting that show.
It was basically the whole year last year, travelling around and shooting stuff.
In our spare time, really.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't really paying the bills. We had to come back here and make videos for real businesses. Yeah. We're a real business. Jeez.
The businesses with money and.
Well, like lots of money.
Yeah.
We've got money. You want me to show? I can show you our bank account right now. There's money in there. That's what you're suggesting.
Should have waited to pay that electricity bill.
We paid an electricity bill just today. So.
Move on. No, I think it's definitely hard to get to find money to make stuff, and so that's a struggle. I think it would be less of a balancing act if our own projects was able to pay the bills and keep this place running.
But that's where we're moving close to that all the time. I think you learn as you go, and I think all of that is starting to come together. But
it tends to go in waves. Like recently we've been doing more corporate stuff because we just have to do that to pay the bills, and we've had a bit of interest or projects come up basically. So we've been doing a bit of that, but it means we haven't been working on or our own projects as a group very much in the since Australia Get It Up Here, which is November, December.
Yeah, everyone's been kind of busy with their own things a bit lately.
Yeah.
But like you say, it comes in waves.
Yeah, so I imagine maybe halfway through the year we'll get the opportunity to kind of get together again and work on more stuff. We always want to be making more stuff. We always have ideas for shows and bits and pieces that we want to make, but it's a matter of finding time where we're all together. It's hard now that Andy's currently in Sydney, and Beck and Alistair are doing a lot of writing work, and Matt's doing lots of work.
Because like everything we do, ideally, not always, but ideally will be at least a little bit skewed towards comedy, if not just straight out comedy.
Yeah, we're trying to make it a bit easier by making our corporate stuff, pitching ourselves as doing corporate stuff that's a bit more towards comedy, and because there's so many video production companies out there, so we figured our point of difference could be
we're the only one who can do comedy.
The only one.
Well, it's us and Working Dog.
Working Dog do well.
And
no, there's lots of funny stuff out there.
Of course there's lots of funny stuff. I was making a joke, which didn't help prove the point that we can do funny stuff, because it fell flat, and I apologise, but I think you can fix that in the edit. I think the advice is probably I think it could be media or anything else, is just get stuck into it as soon as you can. Just start working on it.
Yeah.
And getting better at it, and yeah, that leads to success rather than... It's so easy to be conservative and worry about... I sold air conditioning for 7 years, and that was great, and it was a very good time, but, you know, I would have loved to have jumped in earlier, probably, but, you know.
My philosophy is basically just to be ambitious and jump in the deep end and just throw yourself in and see what happens, because I didn't really think about, like years ago, 2009, 2010 or whatever, I wasn't really thinking about the potential, the things that could go wrong with signing what was essentially a $100,000 contract to have this place for 3 years.
Yeah, what were you? Were like 22 or something, right?
I was pretty young, yeah, 21, 22. No one else put their name on that lease.
I was a little bit older, so I'm not an idiot. I'll put my name to that.
So I was the idiot that signed the lease, and it's like, you know, that's a pretty crazy thing to do looking back on it. It could have gone horribly wrong, and I could have been left ruined. But, you know, we did it, and we were ambitious, and we made it work. You just make things work, right?
Yeah.
You just, you know, you put yourself in a situation, you just work it out.
Alistair always says, he used to have a bit about it where you get rid of the safety net.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the safety net ends up just being a net, and you're trapped in it.
Yeah, it's a great bit.
He does it a lot better. I sort of butchered it a little bit. I would almost say that I wasn't doing the bit there, just sucking out the...
It's a bit of a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a bit. I took the funny bits out. But, you know...
I'd like it to be a sustainable business. It'd be nice if we were able to spend a bit more on the place, on equipment and facilities, and be able to pay ourselves properly and employ other people that we really like working with. That would be really great. And working on fun jobs.
Yeah, I think it's probably just keeping on moving in the same direction.
Yeah, we're definitely headed
doing bigger, more ambitious jobs. Have stuff. We'd love to get something ourselves on like either, you know, a free-to-air TV or one of the new, you know, Stan or something like that. And also just working with cool people. I think we're working every year. We work with cooler and cooler people. Some of the people we worked with a few years ago, lame. That's not what I meant. But I'm just saying we're working with...
we keep building our network, and we keep working with
Don't make it sound gross like
people.
that.
Sorry.
It's not a network. It's a bunch of, you know, just friends hanging.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm so sorry.
That's all the questions I had. Anything else you want to add, or I didn't ask that you wish people would ask this?
I wish people would ask just how I am, you know, in here.
You said that the other day, didn't you?
I probably did.